It was a great start for Leicester. You dominated proceedings for, what, the opening 10, 15 minutes or so. De Gea forced into a few saves. Disappointing not to take your chances there, to be more clinical.
Yeah, I think first half and first 20-25 minutes we started the game well. De Gea makes a great save, but we looked a threat and penetrated the game well. We're disappointed with the first goal. It's a simple, we lose possession of the ball, and you do that, and I think Marcus' first chance of the game, and he finishes. So that quality, you know, was there from him. But we still go into half-time and thinking if we can look after the ball a little bit better and arrive into the final third of the pitch, we can create more chances, which we did do in the first half. But we never really got started. Second half, we didn't keep the ball, and the 2 goals we conceded are disappointing.
Brucey?
No, I was saying I thought in the first half, especially some of the chances that you created, it could have easily gone in with a couple of goals. Obviously, De Gea's made a couple of good saves, but there was a lot of positives to take from the first half. Yeah, you can see why you've scored goals in the recent weeks.
Yeah, and we're being aggressive, but like I say, you need them to go in when you come away here.
Absolutely.
Like you said, in Villa and Tottenham games, they've gone in. Today, if it goes in, the first one, then it's a different feeling in the stadium. So, but we unfortunately weren't able to take them today.
Just the new players, Brendan, as well. They made a massive difference to the last couple of games. You know, Tete, Christensen and Harris all come in, played pretty well. So you're happy with the acquisitions?
Yeah, absolutely. I think we were desperate need of players, and the 3 guys have come in and done really, really well. Big Harry has come in and been excellent for us at the back. He wants to defend, reads the game well, and he can play football. So I'm delighted with him. Victor's only 20 years of age, and you can see he's tenacious and works very, very hard. And Tete, it's always going to be difficult. He is. His first half in particular, it was really good. It's always going to be tough for him away to here. But yeah, delighted with those 3. And it just gives the team a better balance.
Is James Maddison okay? He looked like he had a slight groin issue during the game. I can't
tell.
tell.
It's his knee. He's still got. Yeah. So he's had an injection before the game. So he's not 100%, but you can still see he has that quality to affect the game.
Yeah, and I've just got to ask, but the second half, in the first half, we pointed out at half-time, you were first most of the second balls. It just seemed there was a lack of intensity in the second half. Is that because they went 2 goals down, or?
Yeah, I think we looked like from the second goal, it sort of disheartened us a little bit, which is why I tried to change the midfield to get us moving the ball again and to take the ball. Yeah, so that was the frustration in the game. After the second one, it lifts the crowd. They get a little bit of comfort in the game. We need to then try and get the next goal. And when we didn't, they get the third, then it's comfortable for them. So by the end, they were worthy winners. But the first half, we looked a team again like we've been. And we just got to now take that into our next game.
Yeah, it's a big game as well. Any more questions, gents? No? Okay. Brendan, thank you very much for taking the time to speak to us.
Good to see you. Cheers, Tim. Thanks, mate.
Best of luck for the rest of the season. Okay. He's always pretty honest, I have to say. Brendan Rodgers, it's great to hear from him, and I was afraid how he's going to react to my last question.
No, listen, I think he'll know as well as anybody that when you come here, like we touched on there was a lot of positives to take in the first half, and when you come to Old Trafford and you create chances, it's all about taking them, and if you don't, you're going to come under the pump, and unfortunately over the course of the game that's exactly what happened.
And he's just being honest here. The last question, you know, when you go 2-0 down, you start chasing the game, and you do leave massive gaps in the back 4, and you could see how many chances they created towards the end. You know, they got the third goal. As I said earlier, it could have been 4 or 5 because Leicester were chasing the game, and they have to. You know, they're playing away from home. They're 2-0 down, 3-0 down. They got to try and get that next goal, try and get back into the game. But when they can't do it, they're leaving gaps, and you know, deservedly, you know, got to be 3-0 in the end.
I'll tell you guys a secret. I hate needles. I despise needles.
But that's not a good sign for a player having injections before a game.
That's what I wanted to ask.
Well,
I mean, how serious is this?
That's what we were saying there about Maddison. These little niggles, it's hard to play in the Premier League when you're 100% because of the quality of the opposition. You need to be bang at it physically, and when you're carrying little niggles, you don't see the best of individuals. So he's doing well to play with whatever niggles he's got, but he needs to get over them.
I can understand it was a cup final, and you needed to play. Then you have the injection because it's a league game. You know, I know they might be close to the relegation zone, but you'd rather have him fit for the rest of the season than, you know, getting injured here and being out for the rest of the season. So
especially when you look at his stats of how important he is to the team.
He's massive to the team. Everything goes through him. So if he doesn't play, you can see Leicester going back to the form they were at the start of the season. You know, when he wasn't available. You know, when he doesn't play, they've won 3 games out of 17 games.
Yeah.
You know, so it's not looking good if he gets injured and he's out for the rest of the
What
season.
about the long-term effects of that, either throughout the rest of the season or into the next couple of years? Because I've seen Brucey struggle to get out of his seat. You know, I'm just thinking down the line for James Maddison, if you're going through injections now just to get through games, it's could have long-term consequences.
That's just too much paddle tennis, unfortunately, at my age. That's why I'm struggling to get out of the seat, which is a bad sign.
That's
let me
true
tell
as
you.
well.
Yeah.
But now listen, for his long-term future, and he's got to playing with injections obviously isn't ideal.
Yeah.
So like I say, he's got to get over these little niggles, and as soon as he does, which we want him to, we want to see a James Maddison at 100% fit. Obviously, he's one of them players that you enjoy watching. So fingers crossed he can get over those.
Ideally, you want to get him done to the end of the season, then you can rest it. You know, maybe get an operation to fix the problem. But again, injections, it numbs the knee. You know, if you turn and you don't feel anything, and the injection runs out, the pain comes a lot more. You know, after that. So, you know, when that numbness does run out, you know, you can be in a lot of pain, because I've had that myself.
Well, it's the adrenaline that gets you through the games, plus the injection, right? So when he's sitting at home, that's when he's going to feel it.
Yeah. It's when he'll be getting out of bed tomorrow morning, that's going to be the problem. When you're playing with injections, it's always the next couple of days after the game. And when you've got fixtures coming thick and fast like that, like what you have in the Premier League, it's not a good recipe.
Yeah. He'll be sleeping with the game ready on his leg and everything, like in the middle of the night. Your eyes pumping into his knee. You know,
Really?
That's what you got to do. You keep the swelling down, but. You know, Brendan needs him in the team to perform and try and get.
You sound like you've had a few knee problems yourself.
Just want to
experience of this.
I've done my MCL before, and I've tried to come back quick, you know, to try and play in a game, but it doesn't work. You know, you try, you train, you just break down again. It's just keeps on going and going and going until you got to rest it. You got to let it heal, and when it does heal, you're ready to go. You know, fully fit.
But it's difficult to say I need time to heal, because you want to be out here.
That's one thing. All these players that we see now, they're all young, and we've been there ourselves. To pull yourself out of a game.
You're still in your 30s, okay?
Well,
but carry
you know
on.
what I mean. But to pull yourself out of a game because of a niggle, it's something that no footballer wants to do, is it? You want to play in every single game, especially at occasions like here at Old Trafford. So you can understand, but when it's... that's where the managers... That's why they're paid for what they do, to make these difficult decisions, because when a player's got a niggle, it's... You've got to play at full tilt. You've got to play 100%, in my opinion. And them niggles turn into serious injuries in the end. You know, if you keep on going, so he's got to be careful. But he wants to play. You know, he thinks he's good enough to play. You know, fit enough to play for this team. And you know, I think it'll be Maddison who makes the calls in the end if he plays or not. Yeah,
it'll be interesting as well to see where his future lies. And one more question on Leicester I'm going to ask, because we just spoke to Brendan Rodgers. How much further can he take the club? Obviously, they had the cup run before, but beyond that, where do you see Brendan Rodgers and Leicester in the future together?
Well, listen, I think it's for the powers that be at Leicester. I think for them to progress and kick on from where they are currently, they need to keep the likes of Brendan Rodgers. They need to keep the likes of Maddisons, your Harvey Barneses, your Iniachos. They've got some really, really good players, and they need to add to them. They need to take heed from the clubs like we spoke about before the game, the Brightons, the Brentfords, who might not have the financial powers of the top clubs in England, but when they dive into the transfer market, they need to be savvy, and they need to get the recruitment spot on.
Well, that's the thing now.
Which is tough.
You've got other clubs doing brilliantly with their recruitment. We talked about Brighton early on and what they've done, and a few of the other clubs as well. It's not just Leicester. Although in the past they've done exceptionally well to bring in players for relatively cheap and sell them for huge amounts. Harry Maguire, for example.
Brentford have been fantastic at it as well. The players they've brought in without spending astronomical amounts of money, they just need to get that recruitment right. It's a huge part of the game now.
Okay. Yeah, brought players in before as well. You see, like the Riyad Mahrez bargain, you know, N'Golo Kante bargain. You know, these players went on for a lot more money that they bought them for. So, you know,
Chilwell,
Chilwell as well, coming through the ranks. So they bought him for nothing. You know what I mean? He's gone to Chelsea, 50-odd million. So, you know, they have got the money, but it's just getting the right players. You can't just go out there and spend millions, because you just don't know what's going to go, do you? You got to like really scout the player, look at his qualities, and bring in the right players that Brendan wants, not what the football club wants. You know what I mean?